Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Gary, I believe you're with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Welcome, Gary. Well, welcome everyone else to the CEO Roadshow webinar series, where we feature small and mid-cap stocks that are maybe on the verge of a breakout or of other near-term developments, making them an attractive long-term investment opportunity. Today, we're joined by Mr. Gary Campbell. He's the CEO of Cytta Corp. They develop and distribute proprietary software technology to shift how video audio data is integrated, streamed, consumed, transferred, and stored within a proprietary, interactive, and collaborative cloud-based network. The stock trades on the OTCQB under the ticker CYCA. Before I turn it over to you, Gary, please note everyone at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A button. You can click on that at any time during the presentation. Type your questions in. We'll get to as many as we can after Gary is finished. With that said, Gary, take it away.
Great. Well, welcome everyone, and thanks for attending. And I'll go through a very quick run through of our brand new IGAN technology, which is what we're introducing into the market. And starting with the first slide you see there, what is IGAN? And basically, let's start by looking at the image attached. So that's probably the easiest place to start. That is what we call a desktop screen, and that's what all first responders who use this technology have access to. And that screen in the background, basically the first column are various channels which they use for various incidents they do. Channels are formed and will remain, and they can invite multiple people to them. They have multiple different videos in them. They have multiple participants in each one, and you're able to, in the second column, you see the kind of videos they're able to bring into it, and they can all interact. They can all see that all the participants that are invited in by the person running the particular incident are participating. There's also a mapping function which identifies all of the participants, which is used by law enforcement, so they can see exactly to within 2 feet where any participating officer or fire person or whatever is in real time. And that's got some really interesting capabilities, and that's specific to what we provide. And then at the bottom under the map, you see video. That is a video that someone will have brought up from either storage or something they have, or perhaps related to that incident. So in a big picture, we suddenly give all first responders the ability to share all video, all audio, no matter where they are, whether they're on the scene, whether they're at the station, or whether they're somewhere else in the world. So that's really what we created, and it's really designed to be an incident command system, which never existed before. So our first IGAN was a hardware software version of this, and we spent the last year developing this, so it's purely software now. It just downloads either into their smartphone or into their laptop at the station, and they're able to run incidents from either device. So we call it a collaborative network because everybody gets to participate privately and securely. None of their communications are in the clear, as with radios that they use. So in this case, they can talk privately, they can say what they want, and nobody else gets into the network. It's cloud-based, and again, all software as a service, so simple. They buy it, we give them the codes to go in, they're up and running 2 minutes later. The interface, so again, the real important part of this is really the last point. This is all mil-spec security attached to this. It's called double ratcheted, which is something that apparently from our programmer side and the mil-spec guys is the best of the best. And as they tell me now, our streams can never be hacked. Next. Yeah, so the general features, we've got a multitude of general features. We do so many things that is kind of hard to see. And I know, it's perhaps all encompassing here to look at all of these, but, let's take a thing. We can remotely access mobile phone cameras. after certain type of signals are initiated by the user, access at that, and the microphone that comes in very handy in school situations, other situations, officers down. As I say, we do streaming and live video broadcasting. Going further down, the video wall with multiple video capability is something nobody else in the world offers, which is used. Let's say the Real-Time Crime Center in Dallas uses that. So for the first time, they're able to share everything that's on our desktop in a common video wall. So they're participating from the Real-Time Crime Center, the same as the people in the field. What else do we have? Yeah, every customer has a segregated and sandboxed, call it a spun up server that we do for them. So nobody's information is mixed with anybody else's, and they have absolute security, both at the kind of the police evidentiary level and then the higher military security level. And one of the things we've added into here, one of our other products, is a very, very proprietary video compression technology called Super. And we've built that into this, which allows our video transmission to be better than anybody else, even if there's very low bandwidth, and everything we transmit is within 66 milliseconds latency, which is as low as you can get. Next, please. Okay, we have two big initial markets, the IGAN comms, as we call it, which is our first responders, security companies, and commercial drone services market. The first responders are using it for their incident command systems. Private security companies also use it for exactly the same thing as the first responders, for bringing all of their parties together and ensuring they can all communicate with each other. Those are very similar markets. Commercial drone services use it in specialty situations, so where they have power lines to examine, or they're examining fields and or pipelines, and they want that information to be transmitted in real time from that drone back to somebody at base, because traditionally what they do is they store it on a disk or at floppy on the drone, and they don't get to see it in real time. So what the drone services are using it for, to see it in real time, make changes, go and re-examine things where experts are in the field. The other market is our IGAN core, and it's really related primarily to educational institutions, schools, the students, their families. And it came about because the Dallas Police Department was asking us, given what's gone on in Texas recently, what the IGAN could do to enable them to protect the schools in their jurisdiction. And we also got the same request from Ocean County, New Jersey, because they have an awful lot of schools there. In addition, they have some religious schools where they have, a lot of problems there. There's been a lot of incidents. So a lot of concern, and we started developing our IGAN core model. So at a very basic instance, it's a new system using the IGAN that protects schools. Next. Yeah, so let's start with the first responders. Again, the idea is, really simple. They have it, they use it to show their videos in real time. The officer's body cam, pole cams, anything they have gets pushed through our system. And again, that provides, a lot of protection and allows everybody that's involved in a particular incident to work together. Next, please. Yeah, what we were faced with in these markets, and what they like about the IGAN, is simply you had instances where the surveillance drone teams, which are a big part of law enforcement, the stream from that particular drone was only going to the drone controller. And what we've now created is the ability for that information to go to anybody. So literally, when a SWAT team's going around a corner, They don't have to wait for the guy operating the drone to radio them and say there's a guy with a gun there. They're able to see in real time exactly what that drone feed is and react accordingly. They also use it for something they're calling drone clear now, where they'll throw 4 small drones into a building or a house. Those mini drones will look around the house, and all the video streams from those 4 drones are available to the tactical team that's going to enter the building. So they know exactly where the bad guys are. They know exactly what's happening before they go in. So no longer do you have to kick a door down and risk the officers. You're only risking 4 drones. So as I said, we're solving pretty much every single problem they have. You know, the capabilities of our system are very, very wide ranging. It represents really a whole new communications protocol for first responders, Border Patrol, FBI. You know, we've been involved in incidents where our system has been used with, you know, every group I mentioned and a few others. So, you know, we've had a lot of exposure, and now that we're releasing the basic IGAN 2.0 system to the market, you know, that's what the law enforcement is starting to spread there. Next. Yeah, these are what we call our reference client installations. They all have the IGAN 2.0. As you'll see, a couple of them we're doing major demonstrations in the last week based on our last news release, and those demonstrations were to all of the law enforcement organizations in their area of interest, and they demonstrated to them, they show them how they're using it, because it allows those organizations to have the same capability they have, but also the systems linked together. So in mutual aid situations, all of the participants will be able to work through the IGANs that they have. So it's very good from a cooperative point of view. That's just really interesting, because it's actual image of, you see at the top left, all of those images, all those little pictures. Those are all the people participating in a particular incident. So that's a screenshot of a real incident. And you can bring an unlimited number of people to participate, you know, and you can have them watching, you can have them listening, and you can have them interacting and talking. So those are the controls. And, you know, that's probably the most interesting part of that, is that's what it looks like when you have roughly 50 people at the same time involved in an incident. Next. How we're marketing. Currently in early stages, we worked with reference clients that, you know, we sold the system to. Some of them had previously had the IGAN 1.0 and were anxious to do that. And the initial groups all agreed to interact with us on a direct basis, so we can add features to it, and then also help us with the various national organizations by putting out recommendations and letting us do that. We do a lot of work, you know, with the sort of the state organizations, because they all talk to each other, and most of the law enforcement work is state. We're also thinking about a number of ways. We've been approached by groups of first responders that want to actually promote it to their organizations in their areas. So we're just looking at exactly what our marketing model going forward is now. We've just brought on some new marketing people and sales people. So the huge go forward strategy to roll it out nationally is just being developed. School system. So as we'll see later, the school system is currently under development. We have beta versions of pieces of this, which, you know, we are demonstrating, and that's one of the things we do when we're out with the various departments in the last week. So we demonstrated our beta systems, which were resoundingly successful from their point of view. So we have a number of features we're building into it. A situation where you can use your smartphone or a QR code in the room to communicate from a school to the first responders or the administrative tactical team in the school, or both. We're ambivalent, however many they get to pick where the system goes. We have the active ability to activate the camera and the microphone when that phone initiates the SOS, which doesn't go through 911, goes to the designated law enforcement people involved, usually the school resource officer, who's part of the local police group. The police can see an exact map of where that person is. The video audio communication is immediate. If the phone's disabled, we can still find the last location of that phone. There's a geofencing capability, and the beauty of our system, because of the levels of security we have, everything that runs through this system is complete privacy, and the users control the data, either law enforcement or the particular school. So we're looking at two basic models. The basic one is that the school has their emergency response team on our system, and they're responsible for notifying the first responders. And, on their emergency response team, the school resource officer would be the person getting that information, or they may decide that it's so serious that, more people within the police department get the alerts in real time. So that's really for the people administering it to do, but we have all of those capabilities. And the bigger system involves us loading an IGAN into the school network, giving them access to our server side specifically for them. Then that emergency response team uses that system. That system would be linked into the police or the sheriff's system. But this one would allow the students a mechanism where they can send a real-time alert to the emergency response team and or parents, however they want to designate that. Again, it's always complicated with students and smartphones, and each district has different rules. So we provide the capability. It's up to them to decide how they want to integrate it. And then there's the possibility, and we're looking at this, of the fact that since it's a very general protective system, it seems, our initial research is that a family will want to have their children on their own personal IGAN or a family-based system, that they pay for on a monthly basis, and then they can put everyone in their family in it. And also whatever surveillance systems they have in the school, depending on configuration, can be integrated to the IGAN. We don't do the integration, but the camera companies will. The issues, I think we're all pretty aware of what the issues are here. It's just a very bad situation. And in times of crisis, there's just, it's just extremely difficult for, law enforcement and the people in the school to really do anything other than what we've been seeing happening. So we solve most of their problems. Yeah, this is one, it's frightening when, we put this together, how many people have been involved in shootings. My children are, out of school and a lot older now. And, I can't imagine what it's like to have school-age children, that have to look at a situation. A lot of the people in our company do. And, this is just frightening data. Next. Competition wise, there's some limited capabilities, but none of the competition is built around a proprietary dashboard communication system really designed for law enforcement. So it's relatively easy for us to tick all the categories that are there. And we're a completely different and a really advanced system for providing protection in school environments. Again, our program here, we're in discussions with various school superintendents, school boards, emergency managers, and just looking at how their situation needs to be changed, and it's quite complicated for them, but we've had resounding response so far. And generally, we're talking to a lot of them. A lot of them are talking back to us now, and we're getting ready to go into the first couple of full-scale betas. That's a quick timeline. February we're gonna have the preliminary SOS completed. We are Midlothian will be one of our school districts. That's Texas. March we'll do the install, look, test it, work with it. Then we'll move into the Ocean County situation. There we have a number of synagogues as well, and religious schools tied to synagogues. So a little interesting and complicated model. And April we start rolling out to the school districts. We have people that are connected to them at many levels that already sell security systems, who are really waiting to be able to put this into the schools and start protecting. The capabilities of this network, in a nutshell, we have everything that you see in those images there. It's complete YouTube capability. We use it ourselves instead of Zoom among the people operating it. It's got infinitely more capability than Zoom, and it's private. Same with Teams, same with Meet. We haven't built out that as a feature that we call that the formed feature. We haven't built it out, but it's all there. So it's more a question of us segregating the pieces to make it fit in the family network side, rather than having a lot of programming to do. Next. Yeah. Again, families, both from the school side and the families themselves wanting the same kind of protection and connectivity, ability to see where that phone is within, that's a feature you can have. But for us, you also have the capability of going in there in an emergency if the protocols are approved, and doing a lot of other things. So we think families is going to be a great market for us going forward. This is really, general, but, everything we see there, are particular markets for our IGAN product in one formulation or another. And, there's just a lot of places that don't have anything even close to what we're offering at this point. So it's a matter of, showing them, and then, getting the marketing and getting the sales teams going. Again, these are really, really big markets. Public safety and security, it's growing all the time. Security is a big feature. It's estimated, $1 trillion or so by 2030, but it's half that now, maybe more. Video surveillance is just really big, and we're kind of the best add-on for that. So anywhere you see video surveillance cameras, that's a market for our IGAN. Let's see what else. There's the other interesting thing is there's a lot of COVID funds which are being applied to the schools, and a lot of grants going into that area. So it's very easy for the schools, strangely enough, to use their COVID funds for this type of safety and security product. And expanding, we're talking to the utility companies, we're talking to a lot of security companies, we're talking to energy companies, industrial infrastructure. We've got too many markets now, so we're going to concentrate on, first and foremost, the first responders, then the schools. We've got a really good team. We've just added Natalia Sokolova as Chief Operating Officer, and she and I had worked together before on our remote medical monitoring technology in Cytta. So really excited to have her back. We have really tremendous software development team, and we're just all pressing forward. And next, we have an awful lot of people that are on the board of advisors. We use them really, as a think tank and a brain trust, and then they come on and they also perform functions with the company. They're all doing things, and they're all part of our team. So we're really excited about the team we have. Real quick summary of everything that happened last year. It was a big year for us. Having the very prestigious police departments using our technology in their real actions, that was exciting. We did most of the programming throughout the year, as you see, and the core programming is finished. What we're doing now are what we call add-on features, and each add-on feature, of course, is a new revenue stream for us. So a basic system does certain things, but they're all looking at various add-on features. We've got one we're demonstrating, which is really resounding, and it's going to replace a really expensive product. So we're quite excited about that. The other thing we did a spin out of our super compression. We licensed it to a company that's going to be moving forward with that. They're doing an awful lot of work in the military and defense contractor side of the house. For that, they need a lot of specialized permissions and security capabilities. So we're very excited about what that's going to look like for us, and we're the major shareholder in that company right now. And if you need any more information, please reach out to myself or Natalia Sokolova. We love to talk to people about this. If you don't get through, please leave a message, and then you can also use our general line, which again will take messages and that, or simply email us either at our own email addresses or at info@Cytta. It all drops to the same place.
Great, thanks, Gary. We've got a few minutes here for some questions, so if I skip over any of them, it's because maybe we answered them on the presentation. Like there's one here: how big is the school security market? I think that was answered. Next one is, are you in any talks with any school systems now that are interested?
Yes, the school systems both in New Jersey and Texas are more than interested. We're at the quote level in terms of what exactly they want and how much it's going to cost and how it looks with what we're building out. So definitely that. And we've got, from my understanding, probably 20 more on the sidelines that we have to deal. We have to put the product into a reference client situation, which is our normal practice, make sure it's perfect, and then we can go to the others. But we've been getting resounding rave reviews for what we're talking about doing. Even the beta version we've showed, which is very simple, is something that a lot of people want. I just can't introduce it quite yet.
Great, thanks, Gary. This next question comes from Daniel. He asks, are you still focused on serving the law enforcement market with your technology, and what is the revenue potential like there?
The law enforcement market is really the core to everything we do. So both delivering it into every law enforcement organization in the country is literally our goal, because it's what's called a foundational technology for them. It's easy for them to have it, and it gives them all of these capabilities. So what's happening now is the existing organizations are talking to other organizations. We haven't started a national marketing campaign yet, but that'll be something in the cards in the next 30, 60 days, which is why we brought the new people to the team to start putting those pieces together. Law enforcement is really the core of what we do, and schools can also cause their local law enforcement to get into this market as well. There are problems with law enforcement, but our pricing, is an annual license. It's something they can afford. And, the revenue stream is basically perpetual.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Next question here from Scott. He asks, what is the time frame on having the IGAN ready for commercial release?
Oh, okay. Commercial release has really already happened in the basic system. So that's what we perfected with the reference clients. They're all paying clients, they're all using it, they're all happy with it. So commercial release is happening as we speak to the mass market. We've only released it to a specialized market. So mass market release and that campaign is being planned right now.
Okay, great.
But if anybody knows their local police department and they think they should have this, or has a friend, send it in, and literally we can spin up the server for any organization and have them up and running within 2 minutes.
Great, thanks, Gary. Okay, now next question comes from John, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up. He asks, how many paying installations do you currently have?
We have the 8 paying installations, the reference clients right now.
Okay, and then we'll just take one more here. I think it's a good one. Ron asks, can you talk about any other applications you're working on for this technology and any other markets you'll be pursuing in the future?
Yes, but in general terms, but that's a great question. So applications, we demonstrated a particular application regarding a service that is currently sold in a very expensive way to all drone operators in the country that are tied in with law enforcement. And ours is very, very simple, has a lot more capabilities in it, but I don't really want to say more than that. But we've already got everybody who's seen it is saying, how soon can we get that? So that's a very exciting application we have. There are a couple of other add-on applications that are coming, specifically the IGAN, behind that, capabilities to simply click and download from our website and activate it themselves. So that as a sales model, we're going to be moving to that, which is, a very simple and sophisticated sales model. So that application will be on stream here in the next little bit. We've also got the IGAN is up in the iOS store, the Apple store, and our clients can download it from there, and then they can operate their IGAN desktop out of their Apple phone, and Android's coming in the next week or so. So that's exciting.
That is exciting. A lot of great stuff going on with Cytta right now. That concludes the webinar. Well, okay, I'll take one more, Randy. Randy, this is a quick question. Randy asks, anything you can say about Reticulate, about the spinoff?
They're in a very quiet period right now. So really, other than, how excited we are to have those shares for our shareholders. And, I'm excited that that's going to turn into something quite amazing for Cytta and our shareholders down the road. But there's nothing specific to say at this time, because they're going to be doing a lot of regulatory filings, and just at how excited we are about that.
Great, thanks, Gary. That's it. So any other closing remarks?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to, talk to people. We've been relatively quiet while we finish the IGAN. And, I think the thing that people need to understand, we built a really foundational technology that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And this technology has multiple capabilities, multiple uses. We talked about a few of them. So elements of this, will become whole product lines on their own. And there will be, those things will create completely new markets that we really didn't talk about here. So we have a foundation, and as we build the modules or craft the IGAN into different functionalities and then put it into those markets, we just see, an infinite number of ways we can go with this. And, it's the genius of our technical team really creating this, creating the programming behind it, which we own, and having the proprietary IGAN, and, as an asset of Cytta is really an exciting piece.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Thanks everyone else for joining and for listening to the presentation and for all your questions. We'll do a replay. If anybody joined us late or wants to watch this again, there will be a replay of this webinar posted on CEOROADSHOW.com by the end of the day. Also, I think we'll be doing some future webinars with Cytta, so we'll also have those registration links and announcements posted on CEO Roadshow and our social media. So everyone, thanks. Gary, thanks again for your time. Great presentation, and we'll talk to you soon. Everyone, take care and stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.